Jeffrey is a weak, timid coward. He leaves his men at the battle line. They needed him. Where is he? Jeffrey's in the bunker watching porn in the VHS tapes. Adonis is a brave, courageous man. He runs straight into the danger, for he is the tribe leader after all. A big part of masculinity is taking more responsibility and protecting those around you. Sometimes that comes at the risk, the cost of your own physical safety. But I don't think there's anything more masculine than like a courageous man somewhat risking himself to defend someone else. Like if there's one act of masculinity, it's that.
Absolutely.
And in the modern day, we don't need to do this anymore. Times are very safe, especially in like certain countries. We're both from the UK, and the police there do relatively keep you safe. You feel safe, and so we've never needed to be courageous. I'd say both of us are quite naturally cowards, like wimps. Why do you think we started off like just naturally as a wimp compared to a warrior?
I think it has a lot to do with sort of the compounding effect of being like at the bottom of the quote-unquote sort of pecking order back in school in our developmental years. For whatever reason, you know, maybe it was late puberty, maybe it was just like naturally sort of being more introverted, but like you get treated in a very different way depending on your personality, especially in school. Kids are very brutal. Even the teachers are very brutal as well. You get treated very differently by everyone if you're sort of naturally inclined to be a bit more quiet and to yourself. And I think that has a very big compound effect in how you sort of navigate the world in your later years as well. Just also, obviously, low testosterone. People like that more likely to get bullied. They're more likely to go down sort of, you know, Jeffrey paths in life, which means they're gonna have bad lifestyles. They're not gonna be playing competitive team sports, and they're gonna end up having crappy lifestyles with low testosterone. And testosterone is literally like the life force of masculinity. So, and again, to be courageous and, you know, take on battles like that, you need to be masculine. I'm surprised that you said that you're naturally a wimp, Hamza.
Why?
I'm not sure. I didn't really have that perception of you. Why do you think that?
Yeah. If I think back to times in high school, in primary school, I was always like more of the sensitive, like scaredy cat. And even now as an adult, I have the natural tendency to be more of like a coward, a wimp, to run away from danger. And it's almost like something that I'm manually, like forcefully changing. So I'm forcefully becoming more masculine. It's not normal for me. It wasn't natural for me.
Absolutely.
I'm forcefully becoming more brave. And when I have some kind of fear in my mind, and, you know, the things that pop up is like, oh, I've got fear that, you know, this girl's really cute. I want to speak to her, but I fear social judgment. You know, I've got approach anxiety. And so it's like a manual thing for me to like really control.
It's like an uphill
like,
battle.
Yeah.
It's not natural.
Battle.
Yeah, exactly.
I feel like it would be natural for the guys who had great father figures who kind of taught this and like role modeled it for them.
Absolutely.
And also for the guys who were like naturally high testosterone. I think I was quite naturally quite low testosterone before the last couple of months when I've really been focused on improving it.
Yeah,
maybe that's part of the development I've had, actually, because if I'm a lot less of a coward now, a lot more courageous now than I am 6 months ago. My testosterone's actually significantly higher now. We just did a test recently. My test is on the high end now, actually on the high end of the healthy range, especially my free testosterone is actually higher than the healthy range, which is really impressive, really nice to see. And yours was about like smack in the middle.
Yeah, my testosterone was pretty bang average, and I'd say my free testosterone was below average. I'm not happy with my testosterone at all, so I'm going to be doing a lot of optimizing to try and up my testosterone over the next few months, which will actually be documented on a Hamza video, so that should be really interesting. Me and Hamza are both going through the same protocol to boost our testosterone, so you can look forward to that.
Yeah, and I believe that with that testosterone increase, the rest of our masculine traits like courage will be increased as well.
You said something really interesting to me a few days ago, where you said you very rarely you see like male aggression within me, but when you have seen it, it's almost taken you by surprise, and it's very impressive, and it's very like inspiring.
Yeah.
And I know exactly what he means by that. It's very rare when that does happen, and I'm just fully in a complete flow state and very driven towards whatever the mission is at that very moment in time. And it is absolutely essential for me to be able to tap into that a lot more, because I feel like everything I want is ultimately going to be driven by testosterone. It's going to complement each other hand in hand. Yeah.
Can you think back to times that you weren't courageous, that you were more on the coward? Is there like a particular memory? No one respects a coward. That's the title. I've actually got one from when I was courageous. I have like a memory, like a story, and I've told it before. It was like the racist incident that changed my life, where I had PTSD. I won't tell like the full details, but I was finishing work and I went to the train station, and this was maybe a month after the Manchester bombing in 2018, I think. And there's like commotion in the train station. A bunch of people are like yelling, and I get to the part where my train is. So, you know, like there's different platforms on the train, and so on my platform is where the yelling is and shit. So it's like, oh fuck, like what's happening here? And I see like these two white guys who are screaming at this woman in a burqa, and this woman, it has her little baby girl, looks like a 5-year-old daughter, like really next to her as well, like she's trying to protect her. And these guys are just screaming racist shit, just full on like Paki, terrorist, ISIS, you did this and this. They were blaming the Manchester bombing on her, which is fucking stupid. And I mean, not everyone, but like the staff of the train station were fucking cowards. I literally remember seeing them like look in the distance, like they saw the commotion and they just didn't even want to like call the police or help or anything. There was a group of Asian guys, like quite young, like 18-year-old guy, like 3-4 of them, and they were somewhat saying some things back, but they were like a little bit more on the cowardly side. They weren't getting close or anything. And when I get down there, I looked at them and I was like, what's going on? What's he saying? And they were like, oh, he's being racist, bro. He's being racist. Like he's saying this, he's doing all this, he's being offensive, he's like scary and everything. And something just fucking flipped. I'm not usually like this, especially not back then. I was maybe 19, 20 years old, but I just fucking flipped and I start like shouting at these guys, telling them to shut the fuck up. And then one of the guys like starts apologizing to me straight away. You know how like when there's two drunk guys, one of them's always the fucking little friendly dickhead who like comes up to you, he's like, oh sorry bro, you're right bro, like this shit. And the other guy, like, but this guy who's being friendly, he was like manipulative because he had like a bottle behind his back like this, just trying to get closer and closer to me. Then his friend gets like fucking aggressive, charging towards me, keeps reaching into his waistline. They follow me onto the train, they follow me off the train. Like, imagine a half an hour fucking train ride of these guys screaming racist shit at you, and everyone's a fucking coward on the train. Everyone, apart from one guy, everyone was just sat there, just like AFK, disassociating, fucking cowards. And you know what I was as well? Inside of the train, I was a fucking coward as well. I didn't say anything. He was somewhat saying it to me, but he was also just somewhat just loud and just saying, you know, racist shit. We go off the train, I text my dad, he's waiting for me outside. I tell him, come in quick, like this racist, they're following me. They follow me off the train. We go downstairs into like the dark alleyway of the train station. This is where beef kicks off. My dad gets there, they're all pushing. The guy with the bottle's like getting close, like fucking holding the bottle like a fucking weapon. Then the guy who eventually got arrested just keeps reaching into his fucking waistline, keeps like trying to get close to me, and he's like, oh, it's okay bro, it's okay bro, give me a handshake. And he's just like reaching into his fucking waistline every time he tries to get close to me or my dad. Eventually, like, we all get separated, we go into different cars, we go home, and then me and my dad get called by the police, or they come to our house, whatever. And they say that the one guy got arrested, he had an 11-inch knife, he was sent to jail for 18 months. And people have said I've fucking lied about this. You can Google the name. You can literally like Google it, like Sylvester Solocki. Google it, you'll literally see the news article and everything. People said I fucking lied about having PTSD over this. But that was a point where I actually felt like I was somewhat courageous. And even though it was a very traumatic incident and I fully had anxiety, like for a long, like I still somewhat do, but for a long time, like Sam knows probably better than everyone else of how much this has impacted my life. I've went on dates with girls where I've needed to take like a 5-10 minute train, and I've literally needed him as like my fucking accountability partner on call or already, you know, for messages, because my heartbeat is going so fast. I get to the date and I'm literally sweating. Imagine you're visually like you're sweating because you've been on like a 3-minute train ride. There's a lot of consequences to being brave that day, but I'm so fucking grateful that I had that energy to do that, because sometimes you need to like stand up for yourself and you need to stand up for other people. And conventional pussy advice is like, run away. There's gonna be some dickheads who comment right now like, oh, run away. Oh, if there's any trouble, run away and call the police. Run away and call the police. Bro, I'm telling you right now, you run away and call the police, nothing's gonna be fucking done. Maybe they'll get arrested afterwards, but you're not gonna save yourself or the person that you were trying to defend. Sometimes like you need to have the skills, the courage, hopefully some like self-defense skills, to be able to like stop bullshit happening there and then. And so many people can criticize me and say, oh, you should have just run away and stuff, and just leave that poor woman just getting fucking harassed by these guys.
And a child. And
the little baby girl as well, that was on the news as well, that they were like literally racist to a fucking 5-year-old. And people were telling me like, oh, well, you should have just run away and protected yourself. yourself, go fuck yourself. Sometimes you need that courage. You need that courage to just like displace your own safety for the safety of someone else, because that's what men do. And I don't give a fuck about like this modern movement of like, oh, protect yourself, fuck you. You want to, like, you're watching this video, you want to become more masculine, don't you? It's been one of your main goals. You want to get stronger, don't you? It's been one of your main goals. Well, this is the cold hard truth of masculinity. This is the shit that you do when you're a man.
And sacrifice.
We sacrifice.
Yeah. I think one of the most important things that you can do to actually tap into your masculine drive and become less of a coward, if you're like me and Hamza and you're sort of naturally inclined that way, is to build your frame, as in your physical frame. Literally, start bulking and get bigger. It's one of the most aesthetically pleasing, and also it just demands respect immediately.
100%. Yeah. So a big part of courage is actually self-image, and the way that you see yourself and the way that people see you, and the way that people see you. Honestly, the biggest improvements that you can make to that is literally just the size, if not the biggest, it's just the size of your body. If you're physically bigger, you will end up getting more respect from people. They will treat you like you're stronger, you're more brave anyway. Like, they'll treat you like that, and that will ingrain in your personality.
Another thing you can do is also taking on a martial art discipline, learning how to defend yourself in a self-defense situation, and in a situation where you might have to defend someone who isn't able to defend themselves as well as you, is an absolute must, and it will give you ridiculous amounts of confidence in everyday parts of life, knowing that whatever room you walk in, you can handle both yourself and other people around you should you need to use it.
Kickboxing, along with meditation, was actually the thing that eased 98% of my anxiety from that PTSD, like traumatic, like racist incidents. Kickboxing especially, like I went for maybe 4 to 6 months, like very consistently, 3-4 times a week. It really developed me. And really, when you learn how to fight, of course, like I'm a total beginner, but when you learn how to fight, you kind of realize like you now don't need to go out seeking for a fight. I had nothing to prove, and a lot of the anxiety, that inner trauma that I had from that incident went away, because it was like I was getting the aggression out now. When you learn how to fight and you've really dedicated yourself to the discipline and also the culture of a martial arts gym, you'll find that you're way more courageous and brave, but not in the stupid way that a lot of people are going to be commenting below, like, oh, well, you protect yourself. It's like the stupid courage is kind of like getting yourself into danger for no reason, but the real masculine courage and bravery is kind of like just being able to protect yourself and people around you. You shouldn't have to. You shouldn't hopefully need to, but there are times in your life, in the next 40 years, there's gonna be a time when some chaotic shit happens. There's gonna be a time when some like drunk asshole just starts saying shit to you and you don't know if he's got a weapon or not. And there's gonna be a time when you can't run away. Like everyone's advice is, you can't just run away and leave your fucking wife there. You're gonna need to like have the confidence to like protect yourself, put your wife behind you. And if this guy comes towards you too much, it's like you need to know how to defend yourself and also how to hit someone.
Be a warrior in a garden. Don't be a gardener in a war zone, guys. Have the ability to defend yourself should you need to.
I love that.
Yeah.
So that's all.
Yeah. Let's eat our fucking food.
Do the hard work.
Especially when you don't feel like it.